Yo, what's going on guys? In this video we're going to be discussing some skill inheritance options for all 4 heroes in the spring banner. I try to include builds for bad IVs as well, but anyways, if you have any questions feel free to ask them in the comments. Starting off our budget builds for Katria. For this first set you can run it with any IVs. If your Katria is minus speed, just make sure she's getting horse bust because that'll push her speed up to 44, which is pretty decent. If you think she's too slow, then swap Fury out for darting blow. You may think Fury is kind of counterintuitive with her weapon effect, but the thing is, with neutral HP IVs, as long as she isn't getting counterattack, she's good for 3 fights before the recoil damage drops her health to low. And if she's facing units that can counter, regardless of what A skill she's using, unless it was a defensive stat boosting A skill, she's probably going to drop low and even low enough where she cannot use Huggins Egg's effect anymore because of how low her defensive stats are. So that's why I think running Fury is okay. It's probably her best budget A skill, and like I said, if your Katria is minus speed, then consider running darting blow instead. If you plan to use Katria only for arena assault like a pocket pick, then this is something I would consider. She has terrible defensive stats and she's a cavalry unit, so she's a perfect candidate for manipulating AI with Triangle Adept. If you see a green unit on the enemy team, then you can use Triangle Adept Katria to aggro them towards her on one side of the map. Flyers and cavalry units are the best candidates to use for the strat because of their mobility. Now if you have a plus resistance Katria and have access to speed ploy fodder, then here's something you can do. Chill res or defense works so well with speed ploy. Speed ploy helps with doubling, and chill res basically grants your magical unit 7 or 14 extra damage. You can consider using a different seal other than the res plus 3 seal depending on what kind of targets you are trying to hit with the ploy ability. Katria is a blue unit and her main targets are red, and most of the red popular units I would say have fairly low resistance like Legendary Ike, Normal Ike, Zelgius, Black Knight, Ira, Ryoma, Brave Roy, and you get the idea. However, Res plus 3 seal may be helpful against some Lance units. And surprise, a Blade Tome set arguably is going to be her best set. It works with any IVs including minus attack and minus speed IVs. If your Katria is minus speed, then consider using speed plus 3 seal instead of heavy blade, or use darting blow in the A slot. C slot is flexible, but you should go with a horse buff because you should use her on a horse team. You could use her on a mixed team with tactic buffs, but make sure that the team has 1 home cavalry buff, 1 defense tactic, and 1 res tactic. Home cavalry is important for the speed buff since speed tactic is not released yet. Next is Alphonse. This set works with any IVs except for minus speed. Speed refine his weapon, give him the speed plus 3 seal, and either drag back, renewal, or axe breaker in the B slot. His default set is all about dealing damage and at the same time sustainability. Drag back will move him backwards after combat, which will get him out of danger. Renewal is an option to increase his sustainability, and axe breaker is there of course to help him double fast axe units, which is recommended if your Alphonse is minus speed. Here's a minus speed build. Defense refine his weapon and give him lance breaker. That'll help him 1 round KO lance units. Seal slot is flexible, but attack smoke works fairly well with defense smoke. Another minus speed build here. Triangle Adept plus the same color breaker skill is always a nice budget option. His great base defense with Triangle Adept allows him to wall lance units, and axe breaker helps him with axe units. If he's anything but minus speed, then this is something you can do. Growing Flame or Wind with Fury and Vantage. Giant Spoon increases the damage of AoE specials. The strategy here is to fight a favorable matchup first so that he can get his special ready. With Fury and counterattack damage, he should be around Vantage range. When his special is ready, he can pop his AoE special and deal a bunch of area effect damage to the surrounding enemies and the target. And then on the following player phase, hopefully all the enemies that got hit are low enough to die in 1 hit from Alphonse's Vantage activation. And another cool thing is that AoE specials activate before combat, so Alphonse actually charges his special with the attacks after his special activation. So for example, let's say he activates Growing Flame on a FE. Growing Flame activates, then Alphonse attacks. Cooldown is reduced from 4 to 2 because of Heavy Blade. Then on the enemy phase, a foe attacks Alphonse, Vantage activates giving him another 2 charges, and then on the following player phase, Alphonse can use his AoE special again. If he's plus speed IVs, he can go with the same build, but instead of Fury, use Brazen Attack Defense. The more attack he has, the more damage the AoE specials will deal, and the Brazen skills are perfect for that. For plus defense, Alphonse doesn't matter what Bane he has, minus attack or minus speed works. If he's minus attack, then he's gonna be a little bit more reliant on horse buffs. So defense refined Spoon, Bonfire, either close defense, steady stance, or fort defense 3 in the A slot. The best one to to go with is probably Close Defense. Now this is an enemy phase build. It actually works the best with My Speed IB, so he can get the extra special charges from getting doubled. With Sling Axe, Ignis, and 145 Cavalry buff, he can actually 1-round KO a +10 Ira, and pretty close to killing a +10 Zolgius as well. Guard is important because a lot of units run cooldown reduction skills in Arena and are only dangerous when their special activates, so slowing down their special charge will indirectly allow Alphonse to be able to tank more attacks. The rest of these builds are just generic sets. Gale Force, Swift Barrel, Desperation, Heavy Blade, Steel. I gave him Slaying Hammer because Giant Spoon would be useless with Gale Force. Slaying Axe is another weapon option. It doesn't really help him activate his first Gale Force, but it will for the ones where he is in Desperation range. You should run this set on a plus speed Alphonse. Next is a Brave Axe set, recommended to use only on a plus attack Alphonse. There's a lot of variants you can go: Bonfire, Draconic Aura, or Gale Force for special. The seal depends on what you use for the special slot. Gale Force works well with Heavy Blade Seal, while any other seal works fine with 3 charge specials. Here's Sharina's budget set. Any IVs will work. It's an enemy phase set primarily used as a mage tank. Green Tome Breaker or Quick Post 2 in the B slot. C slot is flexible. Quicker Post gives her better coverage, while Green Tome Breaker improves her matchups versus green mages while worsening the others. It's up to personal preference really. Same with the special. The 3 options are Iceberg, Glimmer, and Moonbow. Here's a player phase budget set, pretty generic: Swift Barrel or Fury with Desperations. C slot is flexible, but if you have Speed Ploy, then it would be perfect to go along with her attack and resistance debuffing weapon. Any IVs can work with this set, except that My Speed IVs should consider Darting Blow. Here's a supportive build. It's all about debuffing enemies and buffing allies. It should be used on a mixed team because she has 2 tactic skills. She has defense and res tactics, so distant counter allies would be great. Someone like Legendary Ike, Zolgius, Hector, Dorcas, and etc. would be perfect allies. She doesn't do bad on her own since she's dealing more damage off of the debuff from her weapon, and chill speed helps her double. Last hero is Kagero. Here's a budget set for any IVs. Speed Res Bond is best used on the enemy phase, so go with Quick Post 2 and Distant Defense 3 Seal. Pretty much a basic anti-mage set. Her defense is way too low, so I wouldn't recommend going for IOD Shield. If she's anything but minus speed, you can refine her weapon with plus speed and go Guard 3 instead of Quick Post 3. It's recommended that you use this set with Home Flyer buffs so that she can double without Quicker Post. Here's a basic player phase set: Fury, Life and Death, or Swift Barrel with Desperation. Heavy Blade and a 2-charge special guarantees special procs on enemies that cannot counterattack. Despite her having Glimmer already, I think Moonbow is a better option if you take into consideration all the high defensive units out there in Arena. You can run this set with other weapons like Poison Dagger or even Kagami Mochi. If you go with Kagami Mochi, then you should either swap the special out to a 3-charge special or keep a 2-charge special and change the seal. My Speed Kageros can run a similar set, but they require the Speed Post 3 seal. Life and Death or Darting Blow works for the A slot, and it's recommended to use this build on a flyer team with Home Flyer buffs. Let's say your Kagero was plus resistance, then refine her weapon with resistance and give her Speed Ploy and Defense Ploy seal. This set can even work with My Speed Kageros because with Home Flyer buffs and the Speed Ploy debuff, she essentially has about 45 speed, which is okay. If you find that Kagero is still too slow, then replace Defense Ploy seal with Speed plus 3. Here's for those that have My Speed Kageros and are using her outside of Flyer Emblem. Give her Death Blow and a breaker skill, either Axe, Lance, or Sword Breaker depending on your team. If your team is lacking a blue unit, then go with Sword Breaker. If you lack a green unit, then go with Lance Breaker. And if you don't have a red ally, then go with Axe Breaker. So I gave her Resistance Refinement because plus attack refinement sucks really bad. It only gives her 1 extra might and 2 HP, so I went with the Res Refinement and Attack Ploy Seal. 30 resistance is not that great of a number for using ploys, but her targets aren't going to be high res mages or anything like that. The extra res is for Attack Ploy Seal so that she can inflict it on distant counter melee units with low res so that she can soak more damage from the counterattack. If you find out that she can survive without the Attack Ploy Seal, then consider running Defense Ploy Seal to boost her damage. Last set is a supportive utility based build. Anything but My Speed will work. Smoke Dagger with a speed refined weapon, Swift Barrel or Life and Death, Wind Sweep, either speed or attack smoke depending on your team comp, and Guidance 3 seal. So the strategy here is to attack a melee unit. She's going to deal a good chunk of damage, not really enough to 1-round KO, but she'll deal a good chunk and inflict the debuff from Smoke Dagger and her smoke skill to surrounding enemies. Then you can teleport a nearby bulky non-flyer unit in front of Kagero thanks to the Guidance 3 seal. to finish off the enemy. If that ally is still in range of the enemy units, that's okay because they got inflicted by all the debuffing skills. Like I said, the smoke skill depends on your team comp. If you have a really slow bulky unit, then attack smoke is better, while speed smoke is better if you have a moderately bulky unit with mediocre speed. And that's going to be it for this video. There's still tons of builds out there that are viable, so try and come up with some on your own and let me know what you came up with in the comments below. If the video was helpful, then a like would be super appreciated, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.